It's not that you're forgetting everything. It's not serious memory loss. It's more like this. It takes a few extra seconds to understand something new. Reading small print makes your eyes tired faster. Morning light feels harsher than it used to, and sometimes your brain feels like it needs longer to warm up each day. So many of my patients over 60 say to me, "Doctor, I'm living normally, but everything just feels slower." If you're nodding right now, I want you to know something important. That does not mean you're losing your intelligence or your eyesight. After more than 30 years working with older adults, I've learned a truth that very few people say out loud. After age 60, the issue isn't how smart your brain is. It's whether your brain and your eyes still have the right fuel to work smoothly together. Your brain and your eyes don't work separately. They function as one connected system. Every time you read, look around, react. Keep your balance or simply focus. Your brain and your eyes are constantly exchanging signals. When this system lacks the right nutrients, the brain reacts more slowly, the eyes process light less efficiently, and suddenly everyday things start to feel harder, even without a clear diagnosis. What's important to understand is this. This kind of decline usually happens quietly, little by little, until many people assume it's just normal aging that can't be avoided. But modern science shows us something different. A large part of this slowing is directly linked to nutrition, especially nutrients that protect the brain and eyes during nighttime repair. My name is Dr. David Warren. I'm 60 years old, and I'm living in the same kind of body you are. I'm not speaking to you from theory. I'm speaking from my own experience and from walking alongside thousands of patients over the years. In today's video, I want to share with you why, after 50 or 60, the brain and eyes often feel their worst in the morning. Why what you eat in the evening matters more than you might think. And most importantly, how a simple, familiar group of foods can support brain and eye recovery while you sleep, not medication. Not expensive supplements, just everyday choices when you understand how to use them correctly. If you want to, wake up with a lighter, clearer mind. See better in low light and feel like you're still in control of your daily rhythm. Then stay with me. Part 1. The brain and eyes don't age at the same time. They weaken when they lack the right building blocks. Many people believe that after 60, the brain and eyes decline because cells are dying off. The reality is different. Most brain cells and retinal cells don't disappear quickly. They simply become less efficient because cell membranes lose flexibility. Signals travel more slowly. Oxidative stress builds up over many years. And most importantly, protective pigments are missing. There is a group of natural nutrients that the brain and eyes cannot make on their own, but absolutely need to stay flexible and responsive. When these nutrients are missing, you don't lose your mind. You lose smoothness. The brain is still there. The eyes are still there. But the coordination between them starts to hesitate. When the brain-eye system is nourished properly, many older adults notice simple, everyday improvements, such as reading small print without squinting as much, less glare when stepping into sunlight or turning on lights at night, a quicker mental startup in the morning, less grogginess or disorientation when standing up. These changes aren't dramatic, but they directly affect confidence and independence. At this stage of life, the goal isn't to eat more. It's to eat with the right purpose. In the evening, your body doesn't need fast sugar, stimulants, quick burn energy. In the evening, your body needs nutrients that stabilize cell membranes, gentle antioxidants that don't overstimulate, components that help the brain and eyes repair during sleep. That's why even a small evening meal can have a much bigger impact than you realize. I often tell my patients something very simple. After 60, don't ask, "What should I eat to be stronger?" Ask, "What should I eat so my brain and eyes can work more easily?" When you change that perspective, you stop forcing your body to take more and start feeding what's actually tired. And in the next part, I'll explain a specific group of natural pigments that the brain and eyes use like a protective nighttime coat. And without them, the nervous system ages faster than most people expect. Part 2. Nighttime is the real golden hour for the brain and eyes, not daytime. There's a very common misunderstanding among older adults. Daytime is for activity, nighttime is just for rest. In reality, it's the opposite. During the day, the brain processes information, the eyes absorb light, the nervous system stays constantly active at night, the brain clears metabolic waste, nerve cells repair their membranes, the retina rebuilds protective pigments. Neural connections are fine-tuned for the next day. In other words, nighttime is the repair shift, not the off shift. The problem is this: many people over 60 go to bed without enough raw materials for that repair work. The brain and eyes want to fix things, but there's nothing to work with. When the brain and eyes are supported properly during sleep, older adults often notice clearer mornings with less head heaviness, less blurry vision upon waking, fewer lightheaded moments when changing positions, faster focus when reading, watching, or talking. What's interesting is this: these people don't change their daytime routines at all. They only change how they nourish their bodies at night. After 50 or 60, dinner shouldn't be heavy, but it also shouldn't be empty. An ideal evening meal for the brain and eyes is light, easy to digest, rich in repair-supporting nutrients. Gentle on blood sugar. Instead of asking, "How much should I eat?" ask, "What is this meal helping my brain and eyes repair?" That one shift in thinking changes everything. I always tell my patients, after 60, don't starve the night, but don't overload it either. Just a small amount of the right nutrition in the evening can make a noticeable difference the next morning. And in the next section, I'll talk about a specific group of nutrients that the body prioritizes at night for brain and eye repair, but that are rarely eaten the right way in most senior diets. Part 3. Natural pigments that help the brain shift gears smoothly and the eyes handle light better after 60. There's something fascinating about the human body. The brain and eyes selectively store certain natural pigments instead of spreading them evenly. These pigments concentrate in the retina, where light is received, and in brain regions responsible for speed, attention, and reaction. When we're younger, these pigments are relatively abundant, but after 50 or 60, they gradually decline, especially when diets lack green and yellow-green foods. Artificial light exposure increases. Sleep becomes fragmented as this protective coat thins. Light feels harsher, thinking feels slower, and everyday tasks seem to require more effort. The key point is this: the body cannot make these pigments on its own. They must come from food. When this protective layer is restored consistently, many older adults notice better vision in low-light conditions, less eye fatigue when reading or using screens, fewer moments of mental freezing when multitasking, more stable focus and reaction time. Many people describe it perfectly. "I'm not smarter, my head just feels less cluttered." That's what smoother brain processing feels like. At this age, the goal isn't to eat a lot, it's to repeat the right foods often enough. The brain and eyes prefer natural foods, minimal processing, deep green, light green, or natural yellow colors. Easy digestion in the evening. You don't need fancy meals, complicated plans, or dozens of rules. Just remember one thing: the brain and eyes need steady nourishment, not sudden bursts. I often tell patients, if you take care of your heart and blood sugar, but forget your brain and eyes, independence slowly slips away. The brain helps you decide. The eyes help you navigate. Keeping these two systems working well together is how you protect quality of life after 60. In the next part, I'll share a group of very familiar foods that many people have eaten their whole lives, but never with the intention of feeding the brain and eyes at night. With just a change in timing and combination, the results can be very different. Part 4. Familiar foods that can nourish your brain and eyes at night without weighing you down. When it comes to dinner, many older adults fall into one of two extremes. Either they eat a lot because they're afraid of getting hungry, or they eat very little, or skip dinner because they're afraid it will ruin their sleep. Neither approach is ideal for the brain or the eyes. At night, digestion naturally slows down, but your brain and your eyes actually shift into repair mode. What they don't need is large amounts of meat, fast sugar, or bursts of high energy. What they do need is nutrients that stabilize cell membranes, gentle antioxidant pigments that protect without overstimulating, healthy fats that help absorption, and just enough carbohydrates to let the nervous system relax into deep sleep. That's why some very familiar foods, when eaten the right way, become ideal nighttime repair fuel. When older adults choose the right foods in the evening, they often notice a lighter stomach at bedtime, fewer awakenings during the night, less dryness and blur in the eyes in the morning, clearer thinking without needing strong coffee. Most importantly, they no longer feel like they're trading sleep for food. Instead, dinner feels like it's working for them, not against them. The principle I usually suggest to patients over 60 is simple. Dinner doesn't need to be big, but it does need a purpose. A brain and eye-friendly dinner usually includes a portion of green or naturally colored vegetables, a small amount of easy-to-digest carbohydrates, a bit of healthy fat, not too salty, not too sweet. You don't need to eat everything every night. You just need to rotate wisely through the week. Some nights, all you need is a simple plate of vegetables, a touch of yellow-green foods, and going to bed on time. That's enough to support nighttime repair. I often tell anxious patients, dinner isn't meant to keep you full all night. Dinner is meant to let your body relax and repair. When you shift this perspective, dinner stops being a burden and becomes part of your recovery. In the next part, I'll show you a simple way to combine these foods so they're absorbed more effectively, especially for the brain and eyes, without complicated recipes. Part 5. Timing and combination determine whether nutrients actually reach the brain and eyes. Many people eat the right foods but don't get the results they expect. The reason usually isn't the food, it's when and how they eat it. The brain and eyes don't receive deliveries the same way all day long. Some nutrients, during the day, just pass through digestion at night, are retained, distributed, and used for repair. In particular, the protective pigments for the brain and eyes are fat-soluble. If you eat them too early in the day or without any fat, your body absorbs them poorly or even discards part of them. At night, as your circadian rhythm shifts into rest mode, the liver processes more slowly, the gut absorbs more steadily, the brain prioritizes repair. That's when these nutrients are sent to the right address. When older adults adjust both timing and combination, they often notice they don't need to eat more, yet results are clearer. Less bloating, even with vegetables, deeper sleep, fewer awakenings, brighter eyes, and a clearer head in the morning. The key point is this: you don't need to eat these foods every single night. You just need to eat them correctly and consistently enough. I usually guide patients with 3 simple principles. Principle 1, eat during the repair window. About 1 to 3 hours before bedtime, not right before lying down. Principle 2, always include a guide, a small amount of healthy fat. Not a lot, just enough to support absorption. Principle 3, keep dinner calm, not too salty, not too sweet. No strong stimulants like coffee or strong tea. You don't need to count calories, just remember, light, steady, on time. I often say, after 60, your body doesn't need more. It needs to be more precise. When you eat at the right time, your brain and eyes naturally prioritize their repair work while you sleep. In the next and final section of the main content, I'll help you bring everything together into a simple evening habit so you don't have to wonder every day what to eat, yet still support your brain and eyes in a sustainable way. Part 6. Turning nutrition into a gentle, sustainable, no-pressure evening habit. The brain hates inconsistency. You can eat very well for a day or two, but if it's irregular, the benefits barely accumulate. For the brain and eyes, the most important thing isn't intensity, it's steady repetition. Every night, your body does 3 things. It assesses the wear and tear of the day. It decides what to repair first. It uses whatever materials are available. If those materials are missing night after night, the body chooses temporary fixes, not optimal ones. But when you create a familiar nutrition pattern, the brain and eyes trust that there's enough every night. No need to conserve. That's when recovery becomes deeper, steadier, and more reliable. People who maintain a simple evening habit often notice no more heavy-headed feeling in the morning, eyes adjust to light more quickly, less irritability, and unexplained fatigue. Most importantly, a sense of control over their own body again. Not a sudden burst of energy, but a durable kind of wellness, which is very different. I often suggest older patients follow the three don'ts. Three do's approach. Three don'ts. Don't change meals every single night. Don't force yourself to eat a lot. Don't eat with the mindset of treating disease. Three do's: do have a familiar group of evening foods. Do include healthy fats. Do keep a consistent, not too late schedule. You can repeat this 2 to 3 nights per week. Rotate gently. Perfection isn't required. What matters most is not stopping altogether. I want to say this to you the same way I say it to myself at 60. We don't need to go back to being young. We just need to help the body age more slowly and more gently. Your brain and eyes don't need big heroic efforts. They just need consistent, thoughtful care. After 50 or 60, change doesn't come from big decisions. It comes from small choices repeated each evening. You haven't lost your intelligence. You're not declining as fast as you might think. Many things are simply waiting to be nourished the right way again. If you begin to see dinner as part of recovery, understand that nighttime is when the brain and eyes work hardest, and stay patient with small changes, then you're doing something very right for yourself. If this video helped you understand your body better after 60, I invite you to subscribe so we can continue this journey together. Calmly, scientifically, and realistically. Disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and does not replace personalized medical advice. Please consult your own physician if you have specific medical conditions.